Hey folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and I have just a few beads left from our violet Glade Bargain Bead Box. And I originally thought, well, I'll just dump them into my bead soup. But I decided instead that I have enough to make a really delicate little bar necklace. I was going to use the last of our chain, but it's only 12 inches. And I needed at least 15. So this is going to go into my chain pile. And we're going to use this really delicate little chain instead. I think this will be really pretty with our delicate little bar necklace. So let's turn down and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So this is going to be really, really simple. We have the last of our beads here, as well as some spacers that I've taken out of my stash, and this pretty little chain. Now what I'm going to do, since this is only about 2 inches of beads, and this is a 3-inch eye pin, I'm going to cut the eye off this. And we'll straighten this end up a little bit if we can. Okay, so we're going to take our pin and we're going to bend it over. We just want a little bit because we've got to have room for our beads and then the other bend. So we want about, let's see how long I cut this to actually. And we're going to, it's about it's still about 3 inches. So we're going to bend this at a 1/2 inch. And then we're just going to do a little wrap. It's probably only going to get 1 loop, if even that much. I don't think it's even going to get a loop. I should have just left the eye on and just made an eye on the other side. But we'll see what we can do here. I might get 1 loop out of here to stabilize this baby. So let's put the chain on this one end here. It looks like I might get 1 loop out of it. If it looks ugly, we'll just cut it off. It's the beauty of wire. I can just do what I need to. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like both ends are cut about the same. So we will. Okay. So there's that on. And now we're going to see about if we can get any wraps out of this thing. Come on, baby. Oop, pushed it down that way. We don't want to do that. So we'll straighten this back up. And in order to do that, how I do that is I put my pliers in the loop and then push it down. So it's not being very cooperative. There it goes. There we go. Now it's not got but not even probably a full loop around, but it's still a little more secure than a simple loop. So what we're going to do is then we're going to feed our beads on, and that is come on, baby. Come on. Where's your hole? There we go. Bing. And then another. And then a little guy here, and a little guy, and a spacer, and a rondelle, and a spacer, little guy, spacer, fluorite. Come on, fluorite, where's your hole? Being stubborn. There we go. Bing. Spacer. Little guy. Spacer. Spacer. Little guy. Spacer. Fluorite. On fluorite. And it looks like I need another spacer, but I've got one right here. I just got to get hold of it. And there we go for our little tiny bar. Now what we need to do is bend this over. Get our pliers in there. Oops. Needs to be bent this way. Okay. Get our pliers in. Up and around and down and over, which we'll probably need to get the other pliers out to get the over in. Now we need to put the other side of the chain in. Oops, drop the ruler. Then we'll get a wrap in this baby. But I'm sure it will only give me, again, one wrap, which is fine. And there is our little bar. Isn't that cute? So sweet. But now we have to cut our chain in half and decide if we want it to stay the length we've got it right here. So the little bar is about 2 inches if I remember right. Yep. And our chain is about 20. Now, since it's so tiny, do we want it to be 20 inches? And actually, it'd be about 22. I'm not sure. I have to think about this for a minute. I'm thinking I don't want this to be longer than 18 inches since it is so tiny. I don't want it to drop down real far. So because this is 2 inches in and of itself, we will want about 16 of chain. So we're going to cut our chain. Come here, you. No, I don't want you guys. Not right yet, anyway. So we're going to cut this at about 6. We're going to cut it right here. It'll be a little longer than 18 inches, but that's all right. Okay. Now I need to cut the other side as well. So we'll just hold it up and see if I can get it about where I want it. Looks like it should be about right here. So let's measure that and see if I'm about right there. 8. Well, hopefully I am. Cut it off right here. Leaves us a couple inches of chain to do whatever with. But I think this should be pretty even. I hope it is. Oops. Oh, I think this one side is one link worth bigger than the other side. Let's see if I can, or one set of links, I should say. Okay, so if that's right there, this is at exactly 8. So, exactly 8. And yes, I cut it just a little bit off. So we're going to have to cut this last little bit off here. Come here, you. Such a delicate chain that it's hard to keep hold of there. So, and now we have to decide on our clasp. This is so delicate, I was thinking of putting a magnetic clasp on it, but then a magnetic clasp, the ones I use, are extremely strong, and that actually might break the chain when you tried to pull it off and on. So I think we'll just go with a simple lobster, and I'll get that out. So I've got out a lobster. These are relatively good sized. I prefer a bigger one because, well, my hands are a little bit not as easily maneuvered as they used to be. Though, frankly, I suppose in that case I should have used a larger lobster claw also, but I'm just going to, for attaching, but I'm just going to use this one. Because this is a delicate chain, and sometimes with these delicate chains, the heavier things won't go through them, but that went through for just fine there. So there's our connector piece. I'm going to use this dinky winky little jump ring to put our lobster claw on. Actually, I suppose with my lobster claw being on, I could have just left that extra little bit of chain on, just use the lobster claw on the opposite side. But I didn't think of that. So and there we go. We'll hook our lobster claw together here. And there's our cute little bar necklace. Not cute? Tiny and delicate and very, very pretty. So there we go. There's our little cute little bar necklace with the tiny beads. And that takes away all of our beads from our Bargain Bead Box Violet Glade. Now, as you can see, it is a shorter necklace, but since it is so delicate, I didn't want it to be an extremely long necklace. So, see, it's going to sit like so. Isn't that going to be pretty? Such a delicate, gentle little necklace. So this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we have been making this tiny little bar necklace using our Violet Glade Bargain Bead Box. There she is. Just a tiny, delicate little necklace. Hope you enjoyed making this with me. We'll see you later. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden. Bye-bye.